Will Earth's calendar stay messed up forever? No. Jesus will return to earth, gather his people to heaven for the millennium, and then set all things right. In Jesus' new kingdom for the earth, God's perfect calendar will be used. Here's an interesting fact about Earth's years. Although the length of the day was messed up by Noah's flood, the year was not. Genesis chapter 8, verse 22. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Although God promised to maintain the earth's seasonal cycles, he did not promise to maintain their compatibility with heaven's calendar. Because of this incongruence, the start of the earth year and the start of the year on God's calendar were no longer the same. 4 seasons still existed, but their beginning was no longer obvious by the sighting of new moons. The moon-based month no longer perfectly divided the year into 12 segments. The day no longer perfectly divided the year into 360 parts. God promised to keep the year going. However, how do we know that an event on God's calendar happens in the same year as Earth's calendar? In other words, are the events on God's calendar happening in the same year from Earth's perspective? For example, Noah's flood happened in the 1656th year after creation. That's also the same year for people counting the years on Earth. However, do the years still correspond after Noah's flood? They do, and we know it because a critical event happened during Jesus' life on earth, wherein the Bible provides the timing for that event by heaven's calendar and the timing for that same event on earth's calendar. That event was the crucifixion of Jesus. This event is so important. Heaven would never get the timing wrong for it. God scheduled this event from the beginning of creation. Revelation chapter 13, verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Christ died as the Passover Lamb once. The Bible recorded Jesus attending the Passover meal, which God required to be performed in the evening on the 14th day of the first month. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 5. In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover. Jesus obeyed that requirement by Earth's calendar when he held the Last Supper. By Earth's calendar, each year a Passover lamb was slain symbolically. By heaven's calendar, Jesus, the actual lamb, was slain once. Jesus kept the ritual Passover during the Last Supper, Thursday evening. Jesus kept the real Passover by his crucifixion, Friday afternoon. Jesus was slain on Friday afternoon because that was the time scheduled for the true Passover lamb sacrifice on heaven's calendar. Come on now. If there were 2 times recorded for the same event, which is the true time? God's schedule runs by His perfect calendar, heaven's calendar. The true calendar is heaven's calendar. The true event happened by the true calendar. As recorded by the Bible, in the year scheduled for the fulfillment of Passover, Jesus performed the symbolic Passover and the real Passover in the same year, but on different days. Because these 2 events happened on different days, we know that Earth's calendar and heaven's calendar are not synchronized by the day. Because these 2 events happened in the same year, we know that Earth's calendar and heaven's calendar are synchronized by the year.